What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to like, share and definitely subscribe, and please leave a comment in the comment section down below. And if you want to see more content like this, hit the notification bell. What have we got today? I think we've got more entitled, little privileged, horrible little crybaby actors having a go at people, real people that have opinions about stuff. Namely, Quentin Tarantino has said something about Marvel movies. We'll find out what he said, and we'll find out what he means, because I've worked out what he means. We'll have a look at that a bit later, but we'll see what the battle is between these two. Because he gets on my tits, this kid. SIMU LIU, who thinks he's a rock star, a megastar, he's criticised Quentin Tarantino after the director laments the Marvelisation of Hollywood, which is like across the board. The only movies that you can think of at the cinema are superhero movies. What else is on? We've had a couple of horror movies, Barbarian, we've had Smile, we had The Northman earlier in the year, we had Top Gun, which was great. Well, then we've had the Batman, we've had Black Adam, we've had Miss Marvel or Ms. Marvel or whatever the hell she's called. We've had Falcon and Winter Soldier on Disney Plus, which I've gotten rid of because it's just a fat bag of shite. I'm sorry, well, I'm not sorry. And that's all we seem to be getting at the minute. Everything is superhero movies. There's no diversity in movies, while Disney's trying to create diversity on the screen. And through doing that, they're just losing the ability to tell stories. That's my opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're well within your right. But anyway, back to this article. Shout out to The Guardian for writing this article. Shang-Chi actor says Tarantino and fellow Marvel critic Martin Scorsese don't get to point their nose at me or anyone. That's in response to the director's comments. We'll see what they are shortly. So, director Quentin Tarantino has criticised Marvel films, and rightly so. He says the studio does not produce movie stars, and Marvel films are the only things that seem to be made, leading to a backlash from Marvel star. I don't know where star came from. It's the only thing I've ever seen him in. What else has he been in? He's been in a few TV shows and a couple of movies that no one's heard of, and he's a star. Okay, so we got backlash from Marvel star SIMU LIU. Speaking on the Two Bears One Cave podcast with Tom Segura, I believe, Tarantino said the decline in movie stars was attributable to the Marvelisation of Hollywood. Okay, so you have all these actors who have become famous playing these characters, Tarantino said. But they're not movie stars, right? Captain America is the star, or Thor is the star. I mean, I'm not the first person to say that. I think that it's been said a zillion times. But it's like, it's these franchise characters that become a star. Those are Tarantino's words. And I get what he means. If you take any of the people that have played those action characters, let's take Chris Hemsworth, for instance, right? So, there's a Chris Hemsworth movie on it at the cinema. Do you want to go and see it because Chris Hemsworth's in it? Not really. I don't think he has that pull. Thor does. There's a Thor movie. Great. There's another Thor movie. Thor's appearing in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Guardians of the Galaxy 4, and he's doing this and he's doing that. And that's the reason you go to see it. I mean, Hemsworth's done a couple of action movies. He's been in Extraction, and I am looking forward to Extraction 2. I probably would go to see that at the cinema because it's what I like. He's been in 12 Strong, which is a true story, and it's a really good movie. He was in Spiderhead, and I wasn't interested. It didn't have that appeal to me, so I didn't watch it. It's on Netflix. It's got Hemsworth in it, but he doesn't have the pull. The days of the movie star seem to be fading fast. You've got Tom Cruise. I don't know if Jack Nicholson's even still acting. Leonardo DiCaprio, Javier Bardem, Daniel Craig. Possibly call them movie stars. But you look back to, compare it to like the 80s and 90s, right? When there's a movie on at the cinema, okay? You've got Harrison Ford, Bill Murray. You had Eddie Murphy, who was huge in the 80s. Michael Douglas, Sigourney Weaver, Glenn Close. Superstars. Sandra Bullock, Michael J. Fox, Jack Nicholson, Kathleen Turner and Danny DeVito. You had Dan Aykroyd, Meg Ryan, Gina Davis. You had Demi Moore, who was married to Bruce Willis. Two of the biggest stars. You had Ghost and you had Die Hard, which propelled them into stardom. And for God's sake, don't forget Robert De Niro, who I think still working to this very day, even though he's about 100. And Al Pacino. There's a Robert De Niro movie on at the cinema. I'm there. There's an Al Pacino movie's just come out at the cinema. I'm there. This is what Tarantino's talking about. He's not trying to take anything away from the people that play these characters, because they play them very well, but that is all they seem to do. So Tarantino goes on to say that he does not hate Marvel movies, he just dislikes their current ubiquity. He says, look, I used to collect Marvel comics like crazy when I was a kid. He said, there's an aspect that if these movies were coming out when I was in my 20s, I would totally be fucking happy and totally love them. I mean, they wouldn't be the only movies being made. They would be those movies amongst other movies. But you know, I'm almost 60, so yeah, no, I'm not quite as excited about them. But yeah, I mean, comic book lovers and collectors and nerds around the world, it range from all ages, from kids right up to 60s and 70s. I'm no spring chicken, and I love comics. I'm not an expert, and I'm not gonna like pretend to be an expert. But when I was a kid, when I was in my teens and my 20s, I used to collect books. I've still got the Justice League. I think it was a triple edition of Starro when Starro attacked the Earth, and the Justice League were taken over by the Starro Starfish, like you saw in the Suicide Squad. So I was pretty stoked to learn that the Suicide Squad had taken the Starro story on. It wasn't as good, but I still appreciate it, and I still love to see superheroes on the screen. But for me, it ended with Endgame, because then the quality just went downhill. And now you've got the MCU. That's what you've got. If you say anything against the likes of Wakanda Forever, which had like 99% women apparently, and then if you go on TikTok and talk about it, you get taken down for criticising. What happened to being a critic? What happened to talking to people? That's one of the things I used to love about cinema. You would come home and you would talk to your mates about it. Did you see that film? Yeah, what did you think? Oh, I thought it was a bag of shite. What? You thought it was a bag of shite? Why did you think it was a bag of shite? What about when this happened and that happened? Oh yeah, I forgot about that bit, but the rest was crap. You agreed, you just disagreed, and you went to and fro, and by the end of it was like, yeah, let's go and play snooker or football or do something else. But now it's like, oh, I didn't like that film. Oh, well, you're an ist and you're a phobe and you hate this and you hate that. Fucking no, I don't. I just don't like shit. I don't like watching shit. I'm not going to give you £9.99 and then spend fucking 60 quid on popcorn to go and sit and watch a load of shit on the screen with people who think that the people on the screen, like SIMU LIU, think they can just talk down to you. Think that they're some kind of gods when you're not. You're just a fucking court jester. So I get exactly what Scorsese's saying. And now, what superstars do you have? You have SIMU LIU and Brie Larson, and that's it. And the girls from Wakanda, and that's about it. And Thor: Love and Thunder. God almighty, what an absolute... just Jurassic Park sized arse. Just shite. I'm sorry. That's another video. I'm going to have to do another video on that, because it was just claw my eyes out bad. Carrying on. My only axe to grind is that the only things that seem to be made, the only things that seem to generate any kind of excitement amongst a fan base, or even for the studio making them, that's what they're excited about. And so it's just the fact that they are the entire representation of this era of movies right now. There's not really much room for anything else, and that is my problem, says Tarantino. On the other hand, fellow director Martin Scorsese has also been a vocal critic of Marvel, calling them theme parks and not cinema, which I kind of get, because it's just a lot of noise, colour, spectacle, and a roller coaster ride of emotions and whatever. So yeah, I kind of get what he's saying, but he's probably been totally lambasted on Twitter, if he even goes on Twitter, which is another world in itself. And this has prompted responses from many actors and directors working for the studio, among them Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige. Brushed off Scorsese's remarks, saying, "I think that's not true." Well, it is to a certain extent, Kevin. I think it's unfortunate. And then again on Wednesday, the Deadpool creator Robert Liefeld called Tarantino's comments, and I don't really know whether this is sarcasm or whether he actually thinks this, but he called Tarantino's comments the hottest of hot takes. But how do we take that? Well, SIMU LIU, the superstar of Marvel Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which I must add that I watched for about, I don't even think I got into 10 minutes, and I just wanted to just, like, what they call it? Aquafina? Marina, Aquamarina. Oh my god, I've never had anyone get on my tits so much in my life. Seriously, just get off my screen. No, I wasn't. It didn't interest me. I'm sorry. So, carry on. The star of Marvel Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings He rejected Tarantino's assessment and praised Marvel's efforts to improve diversity on screen, which is not really hard to do. Seriously, you've got so many characters to choose from, and yet you're still like, even the characters that nobody's really heard of, like the Eternals, and you were race swapping them, and you were gender swapping them. Like, what is the point? Just, there's hundreds and hundreds of Marvel characters, every creed and colour, in both genders to choose from, and you choose to just like take them and try and destroy the legacy that Marvel has built up over the years. What is wrong with you? And then SIMU goes on to say, if the only gatekeepers to movie stardom came from Tarantino and Scorsese, I would never have the opportunity to lead a 400 million. Wow, what a load of shit. 400 million plus movie. Well, like, it cost about 200 million to make, so double that for the marketing strategy that they had to put in place. So really, it was a flop. But you'll say it's a hit because it's got 400 million. Nah, 400 million's not a hit. He goes on to say, this is SIMU LIU, by the way, I am in awe of their filmmaking genius. Yes, you should be. They are transcendent auteurs. Yes, I agree. But they don't get to point their nose at me or anyone, he tweeted. I don't believe for a minute. I mean, look at Tarantino. You're taking the piss, aren't you? Thinking that you would never get to lead a movie. He's had every, like, the most diverse cast you could possibly think of. And what, like Ving Rhames and Bruce Willis and the chick with the sword? You also had Lucy Liu was in there in Kill Bill doing some amazing stuff. Daryl Hannah. There was Chiaki Kuriyama, Japanese actress. There was Vivica Fox, who was an actress of colour. So you're talking shit. Oh, just nah, mate, stop. Oh, get this next bit, because this is just amazing. No movie studio is or ever will be perfect. That's true. But I'm proud to work with one that has made sustained efforts to improve diversity at the risk of the quality of the movie just going through the floor. But, you know, I'm all for diversity, but just tell a good story. So they made efforts to improve diversity on screen by creating heroes that empower and inspire people of all communities everywhere. I loved the Golden Age too. Get this right, because this is bananas. He says, but it was white as hell. What does that even mean? I mean, Marvel was invented by two white guys, right? But I'll tell you what, SIMU LIU, do your fucking research, right? Because the Marvel universe that was created back in the day, right? You had like back in the 1980s, you had Amazing Man, and you've got Amazing Man who's black. Black Panther, obviously black. Luke Cage, Blade. You've got Sam Wilson, who played Falcon. That was like, what, 1960 odd? Storm from the X-Men. One of my favourite ever characters, Storm. Right? She was a mutant of colour. So you're talking absolute shit. Black Lightning. James Rhodey, what was he? The Iron Patriot or whatever they called him in the movies. Like, what are you talking about? X-Men again? Was it X-Men? Bishop? Or just like the list? You've come out with that statement saying that it was white as hell, and it didn't have to be. You're just race swapping and gender swapping and everything, and it's just. I know we're going off topic here, but SIMU LIU, man, you're fucking delusional, like. And Disney, you want to start digging into what you've got and start using them, because there's some absolutely awesome characters. There's some amazing characters in Marvel. I don't care what they look like. I don't care what they've got between the legs. Just bring some good characters to the screen and stop all this fucking woke shit. It's just shit.
That is one big pile of shit.
I'm done with like the MCU as it should be known. I'm done with it. Yeah, I know you think I'm a crusty old guy and I'm a crybaby, and I live in my mum's basement, but I don't like. So that's what SIMU LIU had to say, because he's such a superstar. Here's another one. Hang on, I'll put this on. Where's he at? This is SIMU's latest. Hey! I don't know what he's referring to, like, but bracing for loser internet trolls, like, alright, you're waiting for us, are you ready? You ready for the trolls? If you weren't such a fucking knobhead, people wouldn't troll you. If you were just like a decent guy. Like, look at Tom Cruise when he thanked all the fans for going to see Top Gun. I think that encouraged people to go and see it again. Have some more money, Tom. There you go. Make it rain. But no, you just, what a crybaby. What a crybaby. What a way to get Get rid of your customers. Get rid of your customers. Call like half of your customer base trolls because they don't agree with you. I tell you what, mate, that's just yeah, it's a rocky road. You're on a downward spiral, man. So that's the article. What do you think of that? Do you think Tarantino's right for having an opinion? Do you think that the Marvel universe is too white or whatever? And what do you think of SIMU LIU? I'm not really a fan of the kid. Like, Tarantino rounds this article off. But earlier this month, Tarantino said he would never direct a Marvel movie because you have to be a hired hand to do those things. I'm not a hired hand and I'm not looking for a job. I think what he means by that is there's so much corporate control and very little license for creativity at Disney at the minute because they're all about ticking the boxes. Tick all these boxes and then get your big box of shite and show it on the movie screen. Sorry. Not sorry. So that's that article. I know it was a bit long-winded and I know I got a little bit irate, but what you're going to do, that's what I think, and that's what Tarantino thinks. He doesn't think there's any movie stars being produced these days, and I 100% agree with him. I think the age of the movie stars is almost over. I think cinema will be dead within a decade. That's another thing. Shock, horror, I think it will. I don't think people will be going to the cinema. They're not going now. There's empty seats wherever you go. I'm hearing it all the time. I watch a lot of people on YouTube. I watch a lot of things about movies on YouTube. And I hear a lot of people say they've been to see a movie and there was 5 or 6 people in. That's not a good way to do business. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you for all the new subscribers that subscribed recently. I really do appreciate it. I love the fact that we're going to grow the channel together. And thanks for watching once again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye now. Marina,